If you have federal student loans and want to know if you should pay them off before paying off other debt, this is the video for you. Hi, and welcome back. I'm Kamika, and this is Well Balanced Wallet, where I help you create healthy money habits and live a life that you love on your current budget. In this video, we're going to talk about how to prioritize student loans in your debt payoff journey. Like many millennials, I have student loan debt. So I went to college right out of high school, and I got my bachelor's degree, and then I went back and got my master's degree right after. And so, as you know, 6 months after that, your student loans become up for repayment. So now that my loans were in repayment status, I realized that I could not afford to pay the monthly payment that they expected of me. So I started to do some research, and I worked in the financial aid office at the time. So I did have a little bit of help there, but I filled out the income-driven repayment forms to get my student loans on an income-driven repayment plan. And I'm still on that type of plan today. So while I am prioritizing my other debt as far as the car loan and my mortgage that we just got in May, I do still pay the minimum payment on my student loans, but I do not pay anything extra towards them. So the way it balances out is that I'm only paying interest every year. When I got serious about paying off my debt and becoming debt free, I had to decide where I wanted to put student loans in my debt free journey. And I came up with a solution that works for me. I have added student loans to the very bottom of my debt snowball. So my student loans combined with my husband's student loans are not our largest debt. Our mortgage is our largest debt, but we chose to put them at the very bottom of the debt snowball for a number of reasons. In this video, I'm going to take you through the reasons why I chose to make this decision, and I'll also help you figure out where to prioritize student loans in your current debt-free journey. Before we get too far into this video, I do want to mention the CARES Act and how it is affecting student loan payments right now for the year 2020. Due to the pandemic, the Secretary of Education directed the Office of Federal Student Aid to provide relief for federal student loans held by the Department of Education. These relief methods include suspending student loan payments, not collecting on defaulted loans, and setting student loan interest rates to 0. The CARES Act administrative forbearance was initially set for 60 days, but has since been extended until the end of 2020. This forbearance is something to take into account when you're trying to figure out where to prioritize your student loans, because this is either a really good time to get ahead on your student loan payments, or it's also a good time to get a relief from paying for your student loans right now and focus on paying down other debt. So if you have questions about the administrative forbearance, make sure you contact your lender, and they will give you all the details and let you know anything that you need to know to make the best decision about your forbearance. Now that we've talked about the CARES Act, let's move on to a few questions that you should ask yourself when trying to determine where to pay your student loans in your debt-free journey. The answers to these questions will help you determine if you should pay off your student loans first, or if you should prioritize other debt, or if you should work on your savings goals. The first question that you should ask yourself is, what are my goals? Goals are so important on your debt-free journey. What do you want your life to look like in 5 years? Do you want to start a family? Do you want to purchase a home? What does that look like for you? Defining your goals will help you prioritize the other things in your life, including paying off debt. My current goals are to pay off our car loan, pay off the medical bills that we have in collections, and free up some money so that we can start building equity into our home. In 5 years, I hope to put a substantial amount of money towards our mortgage each month and eventually pay off our home early so that we can move on to our next goals. So what are your short-term goals? Let us know in the comments below. The next question to ask is, do I have an emergency fund? We all know that emergencies are going to happen. The best way to avoid a financial setback during a crisis is to be prepared and to have an emergency fund. The amount that you need for your emergency fund is going to depend on you and your current situation. So Dave Ramsey recommends $1,000 as your emergency fund, and previously, I did follow this information after going through Financial Peace University, But now, especially since I have a home, I feel like that's not enough for an emergency fund for my family. So our current goal is to save up at least 3 months of our expenses so that in the case that anything happens, we know that we can cover 3 months of expenses without going into a financial setback. So until I have 3 months of our expenses saved up, I'm going to be paying off debt at the same time as saving money to increase our emergency fund. So that's going to take me a little bit longer in our debt-free journey because that ties up a little bit more of our money each month that could potentially go to debt, but I would rather build up my emergency fund. So it's all about your priorities and your goals. While we're talking about the future, the next question is, do I have money for major life events? Life events are different from emergencies because they can be planned and anticipated. If you're planning on getting married or moving anytime soon, you know you're going to have money saved up. Last year, I randomly applied for a position across the state because I got bored with my job. I ended up getting an interview and I eventually accepted the position. That meant that I had to have money to travel 5 hours away from my interview, and eventually I had to have money to move there. My new position also did not include relocation expenses. If we didn't have money saved up already, I would have had to either miss out on this opportunity to start over, start fresh and get a new job, or I would have had to go into debt in order to accept the position. So take some time to think about any major life events that may be coming up, and then that will help you decide if you need to put extra money towards debt and paying off your student loans, or if you need to put more money towards saving for life events. The last question that you should ask yourself is, am I eligible for student loan forgiveness? In certain situations, you have the opportunity to have your student loans forgiven, canceled, or discharged. This means that you are no longer required to pay the remaining balance of your student loan. If you have federal student loans, there are several types of student loan forgiveness, and each one comes with its own set of requirements that you have to meet. As of right now, my husband and I are both eligible for public service loan forgiveness because we both work for a government organization. We both have to make 120 qualifying payments towards our student loans over the course of 10 years. I have about 5 years before I'm eligible to have my loans forgiven, and then my husband has about 7. So do I think this program will be around in 5 years? I'm not sure, but for now, the current forbearance is counting towards qualifying payments, even though we are not making payments until the end of the year. So I'm going to take advantage of that. And that is also another reason that helped me decide to put our student loans at the very bottom of our debt snowball. If you're considering student loan forgiveness, be sure to visit studentaid.gov to see your options and make sure to pay special attention to the tax information for your specific program. Everyone's financial situation is different, and prioritizing where to pay off your student loans and your debt-free journey is personal. Write down your goals and go through the questions that we discussed in this video to determine the right course of action for your family. No matter what you choose, if you keep working at it, eventually you'll come to the end of your debt-free journey. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to give it a like and click the link on your screen right now for more well-balanced wallet content. See you there.